I am so excited to bring this to you guys. I've been planning this for a while. I'm already getting all my stuff ready for my next podcast. And I was just actually, on this one particular, so I wanted to go back in. I know you guys have the links to everything, and I'll add this last artist that I just added into the YouTube playlist. But I just want to go through these artists, and I don't want to spend a ton of time doing this because I really think that you guys need to listen to all of these guys individually. So I just want to tell you the premise of this podcast is to bring to you artists, and of course, there's going to be some that have more than this, but it's to bring you artists that have around 5,000 followers or less, and to promote music artists and artists as a whole that are coming up. And that's such a wonderful feeling. And it's also a really difficult time because, as I can imagine, I mean, I don't know, but there's a lot of people when they see you doing well that are not rooting for you. They turn their backs on you. And I want them to know that there's people that are rooting for them. And since I have such a wonderful fan base here, and I've really tried to bring you guys some unique stuff, I'm hoping that you guys will listen to these guys and support them or leave your comments and whatever. I just really want to really just, I'm just a supportive person. And these songs have moved me in some way, shape, or form. All right, so let's get to it. I'm going to go with the first group who is going to be on the. I just reached out to him on Instagram, so I don't know if he's going to reach back out. And I'll tell you everybody that I do reach out to and what they respond and their responses and stuff, just so you guys know. Because most everybody's really gracious and amazing. I will say that for sure. So the song that I have on the playlist that I want you guys to hear is a song called Right Now. And I mean, just talking about it is giving me like chills. It's a like a guy and a girl talking to each other. And he's saying some like, he's talking about her afro and how she's showing it off. And but really what they're talking about is that they would die for each other. And it's a really crazy, beautiful, amazing song. I really don't know any other way. I mean, literally, I'm getting goosebumps everywhere because these guys really, they have something spectacular. They really do. I'll be honest, I haven't listened to a lot of their other stuff. I was looking them up online just to, talk about them a little bit more with some, just some clarity and some intelligence. And I mean, so I guess he has a new album called Shades Aside, and I guess he's presenting various artists on there. And so I don't know. I'm going to check into that, when I'm done here. But I really would encourage you guys to check this dude out. I mean, like I said, I mean, he has a lot of this music called hood gospel. And again, I haven't listened to a lot of the other stuff. When they put this song on my playlist, because I specifically ask for underground rap, I think when I looked these guys up on YouTube, they had 400 followers at the time. They now have a little over 5,000. So, and this is over a year ago that I found these guys. So I would just say, check them out. Okay. The next group, or the next people that I'm going to talk about is, let me get my list here. Okay, so I think his name is Clejon, and he is known as the trap violinist. I wanted to make sure I got that right. I heard him. I was going through my Instagram feed and I heard him And I was like, because I used to play the violin. And when I heard this, I was like, are you freaking kidding me? He was so good. I ended up actually getting into a beef with a girl on his comments page. And I will tell you something. When I made a comment, I made two comments. One was, dope AF. The other one was I sent him kind of a little lengthy comment where I said, it would be so cool to have you live on my YouTube channel where I'm like working out or doing something, and you could be playing music, live on your side, and I could be doing whatever I'm doing, and it would just be really cool. And that would be something maybe we could do on a. He hasn't really reached out about that in particular, but he replied, and I have to say this about this person. He replied to every single comment, positive comment that was on his page. He'd even replied to some of the negative comments. The girl that wrote the negative comment, it was a really backhanded compliment. And as you're going through the whole list of compliments and encouragement and everything in the comments, you're reading all this stuff that's so great and really very positive, which that's what people need. And then she says, it's cool, whatever, but your lyrics are corny. And a bunch of us kind of jumped on her butt because as you're going through and all of it's kind of like jarring. She ended up having this beef with me and just kept going back and forth and back and forth. And I ended up having to block her because she ended up saying something like, I'm on her private parts or whatever. And I said, sweetie, no, definitely not. She's like, well, you're writing me paragraphs. I said, well, I don't write, paragraphs, but I have enough human dignity and think that everybody deserves human dignity to explain to you why I thought it was really distasteful that you would tell somebody something like that. I said, when you're getting up here in front of millions of people and exposing yourself, because she said she plays the viola or something like that. And I said, well, then that's great. But when you have, when you're up here doing what he's doing and putting his face all over and, doing it hard, then you have a right to make a comment. But until then, I don't understand why if you're going to say something negative, why you would say anything at all. Because it just makes you look like a total hater. I mean, that's exactly what she looks like, just a total hater. And so if you guys are interested, you can go onto his Instagram page, and I'm sure all of that stuff is still there. But I will say this. He was so humble and gracious to every single person. And some people just made they were hater comments. And he said, you don't go out for dates much or something like that to one of the comments. And one guy, he made a comment about, I don't know, something how he didn't like it. And I looked at the picture of him and he had on this his name was hipster something, yuppie. And he had a sweater of like strawberry shortcake on. And I said, hey, hipster yuppie. I said, what gives you any room to talk about what's cool or not? I said, you're wearing strawberry shortcake and everybody knows she was blue collar. She wasn't a hippie yupster or whatever. And he sent back a comment that said, nice rebuttal. So, I mean, it was in good fun. I mean, everybody who knows me knows I am just such a supporter of people and what they're doing. This stuff is not easy. It's not at all. And so I'm just going to leave it at that. But if you have a chance to check out the trap violinist, now there's a lot of trap violinists, and he's still pretty low on the totem pole. I will say he does have about 100,000 followers. So, I'm missing my 5,000 mark by quite a few on that one, but I thought it was worth talking about because I had a direct interaction with him. And he was actually in my city on October 12th, but I ended up missing it. I just couldn't get everything together to go. Okay. So the next people I want to talk about are, this guy's name is Wave IQ and Toby. Toby's, he's definitely coming up in hip hop and everything, and he's doing his thing. I don't know much about Wave IQ, but I love his name. And the song is called Nappy Roots, and it's like one of my favorite hip hop songs at the moment. Um, I really don't know much about these guys. I know I looked up Wave IQ on, YouTube and stuff, and it's like talking about a lot about being in a new era and just on a new wavelength, and I support that because I think being on this old, a lot of people say they don't like new hip hop, and I think that's the weirdest comment in the world to be like, they say, I know you like new hip hop. What are you talking about, new hip hop? I mean, I love the old greats and everything. I love NWA. I love like even the Far Side. And I'll be talking about the Beastie Boys in just a second, the album Paul's Boutique, because it ties into my vintage store. But um, I love all that stuff. But I was listening to Paul's Boutique the other night just to reminisce kind of. And I mean, it's almost like it was good, well done then in the 90s. But that album came out, I think, in like 89. I'm not kidding you. And I mean, it sounds like a garage band. I mean, in a way, they kind of were. So, but from that album to Ill Communication, I mean, their style, everything changed. I love watching artists grow. Another artist that I can say I've seen grow so much, and to the point that they just grew out of each other, is Outkast and the Dungeon Family. I mean, those guys, I mean, they go so freaking hard. There's no way you can sit there and not look at that growth and everything that happened during their time together. And these were guys that played music together. Nowadays, people collab, but it's like I'll do my part and then I'll send you your part. And what's funny about that is like when MF Doom and Madlib collabed together, when they did their uh, I can't think of it at the moment, but they did their first collab. It was an album that actually got released, uh, pre-released without them releasing it. Got leaked, and they actually decided to stall it, to stop and not continue. But then they decided actually to work on a different project together and ended up finishing everything. But they were in the same house together, and they did not work on their music together. The way I hear it described is that there was like a bunch of mushrooms or something there, and they would each work on their parts of the project, and then they would come together maybe and like trip with each other, um, like in the evenings or whenever. But they didn't actually ever sit in a studio together and make that music. It's just their process. And I get that sometimes. But so, I mean, they were in the same house together and worked on things. I think Doom, and I'm just going to be honest, because of his mask and everything, and the way that he redesigned his new image after that was his second kind of coming. I think he was really self conscious about the way that he looked. I really felt that really when I found out that he passed away. I don't want to start to cry. It really jarred me when my daughter told me that. She said, "Did you hear MF Doom died?" And I mean, I remember seeing him in a cafe in New York City, in the 90s, late 90s. And I mean, he had something so different, and how he was able to go back to the drawing board. And I'll talk about somebody else who's amazing too, is Gift of Gab, and he passed away in 2021. It's really hard for me to talk about these guys sometimes because they feel like a part of me, like I grew up with them or something. So I apologize for. It's funny to get like this. I had no idea this was going to happen. To get this worked up over some rappers, but it's not just rap music to me. It's zeitgeist. It's the spirit of the age, and I couldn't believe that Gift of Gab died because I had just heard his new album in 2021. He had just come out with one, and I was like, sick. This is awesome. I can't believe he's making stuff. And I was like, I want to see what else he's doing. And I was walking my dogs just like a week ago, and I found out that he died just I mean, literally a couple days after that release. Um, and the title of the album is really telling. It's something like, I don't know how I'm doing this, but I am, or something like that. And he died of liver failure. I think he had, I don't think it was from drinking or drugs. I think he had it his whole life, and he was only 51. So, um, a lot of amazing people that have left us and that deserve to be uh, remembered. So let's move on to right now, because that's what I like to focus on is the moment. And this is all we have. You know, we can sit there and talk about everybody who's passed away. And there's a lot of horrible deaths. You know, I mean, we could talk about Pac and Biggie and all that, but I mean, or even Diddy right now. And I personally don't really think that I think the hip hop world could have lived without Diddy. I mean, I think as a businessman, he was okay, but whatever. So the next person I want to talk about, and he did a song with Rob Marshino, and that's how I found out about him. Again, this was on my Spotify new. Uh, uh, it's like Discover Weekly, which they give me on Monday mornings, and it's always new artists, or generally. And on Fridays, I get the release radar, which is stuff that's being released by artists that I listen to. So this guy's name is Johnny Katharsis. He's German. He raps in German. And I'm not going to say he's a white guy. I think he's mixed, German and maybe, African American, or I don't know. But he is, when I looked him up, so I wrote an article about him, and you guys can go check my articles out at blogspot.com, Uncool Designs. Yeah. And that, so I try to talk about these guys and showcase them there as well, because I think it's worth mentioning. I like to have it in print, and then, so I didn't actually know at the time I was going to even be doing this, so I just wanted to let people know about it. So this dude is a philanthropist. And when I first heard, I thought, wow. And he has Zarathustra is this song. It's an extended version. And I mean, he did reach out to him on Instagram, and he definitely replied. And he's just very gracious. And I just said, hey, man, you're killing it right now. Congratulations. And I think that this is a wonderful beginning for you, and all this stuff. And I said, I had no idea that you were he has books on Amazon. And I mean, he's a really a good dude. So I just want to mention that. And I think you guys, he's not riding on the coattails of anyone. He's doing his thing, and you should hear it, because, I mean, I don't care what kind of rap it is. If it's good music, it's good music. And this is good music. I mean, I'm German, and I don't even know what he's saying, but I like it. I love the authenticity, and I just love that he's doing his thing, and he's just staying himself. And I think that that's really something to be to raise our hands or clap our hands for him, and support what he's doing, and it should be commended. Okay, the next artist, and I didn't know much about him. I want to talk about Octavian. Now, he's a bigger artist. The song Zero, the reason I wanted to bring it up is because when I was writing my article on him, I always query ChatGPT and just to see if there's information that I can get, because they have the newest, the latest, greatest. And so that's where I usually start with gathering my research, and then I kind of go down the line. And this song is really short. It's like a minute and 30 seconds or something. And what he's talking about is his bank account. And I can't remember exactly all the lyrics right now. But it's really just how it's put together. I mean, I can see, so I have a picture of him that I put on my article of him and Virgil Abloh, in London together. Well, Octavian, I guess he's struggling. He's struggled with um, mental illness quite a bit, and he has, um, I guess he's been arrested for domestic violence. And I just want to say that I don't know anything about it, and I just hope that he heals. I think that the most important thing is that we let people live their lives, and that we support them just where they're at, because we don't know anything about what's going on and what he's been through in his life, and I don't want to judge him. I just hope that he heals, and if he's going to do that through his music, and he's sharing that with us. All these artists are sharing a huge piece of themselves with all of the world, and you know that's a really amazing thing that they're willing to do that with us, because music makes my life so worth living. It's the most important thing probably to me, way more than religion or anything like that. And rap music is so spectacular. I mean, it's permeated every place in the world. Every place in the world that there's a teenager, there's some form of rap. In Russia, in I mean every single place. In Sapien, which is like this tiny island on the Polynesian islands, there's rap music. And they love American rap, but there's their own kind of rap music everywhere. In Africa, I mean, they have just really taken off and just done amazing things. French rap. I mean, MC Solar is the pioneer of French rap, and I mean, there's nothing sexier than a black man rapping in French to you. There's not. I mean, I'm just going to say it now. So, I mean, these guys, they have the je ne sais quoi, um, for sure. And I'm sorry, I'm not, I'm stuttering because that kind of makes me lightheaded, right? um, so I just want to say that, I'm not here to judge anybody. And we support you, Octavian. We support your healing process here. Okay, so the next one, and I missed somebody I want to go back to. So Tariq Disu, I do not know much about him. When I heard this song and I saw the name, I at first thought it was Tariq from Tribe Called Quest. And I said, wow, this joint is dope AF. I mean, I was like loving it, listening to it over and over. Okay. And then I did a show on OF, and I was talking about him, and I was playing some like little blurbs, and I was like, wait a second, I was like, this can't be. And so it's not the same person. It's Tariq Disu. I did reach out to him. He never replied back. He's probably like, I mean, he looks like he's doing his thing too. He's got a lot, it seems like, a lot of, his like weight in music, like that's his main focus. I really don't know much about him, so I would encourage you to maybe look him up a little bit. The song that doesn't get that's gotten the least amount of listens is the song that I have on the playlist. I don't want to say it just because I for advertising and stuff, but um, it's an amazing song. It is amazing. I really don't know exactly what he's saying, so that's why I was reaching out to him. I was going to be like, "Do you have lyrics for your song?" Because I was just curious exactly what you're saying in it. But that's the thing about really good music is you don't. I mean, music transcends. It's part of our consciousness. And when you hear something that moves you, it moves you. You don't have to know the words all the time. People say, "Oh, that annoys me when I don't know what the words mean." That does not annoy me. So I'm just going to say that. And I want to mention that besides the less than 5,000 followers, I'm going to, in this next round, it's going to be more focused. I really want to showcase women and white guys because I think that there is a coming up of white guys for the first time in rap music. And I think that Trap Violinist is one, which is why I wanted to showcase him. And so I know I'm going to get a ton of backlash for this, but I do not consider Eminem a rapper. I consider him to be, and I know a ton of people are going to disagree with me, but I would consider that more like punk or independent music, or at the time when it came out. I guess I don't, it doesn't have like the qualities that I would consider rap music. I mean, I feel like all he's doing is kind of yelling. I kind of see him kind of like, um, what's that guy's name? Rock, Kid Rock, kind of like that, I guess. He's kind of, it's like punk, I guess, like punk, maybe a little Beastie Boys or something, but not even. I mean, I've never been able to connect with his music at all. Period. I don't know why. It just does nothing for me. Um, I feel like it's missing the main component of rap, which is soul. Your soul is in it. Um, I don't care what color you are, but there's something of your essence that's coming through the music to the listener. Um, and I guess that's what I feel is missing there. And then I'll just leave it at that. So you do see a lot of white guys doing it hard right now, and I would like to, you know, but I really want to talk about a lot of cool women that are doing a lot of amazing stuff too. So the next time, and I've already got that show lined up in terms of what I'm listening to and talking about. So that'll be getting released here in the next day or so. Okay, let's just get through this. The next one I want to talk about quickly is Blackbear Beats. Okay, so he's only got like less than 2,000 followers, I think. Um, he mixes together some really sick beats and really, I mean, the way that he seams everything together is it's worth a listen if you like rap, even if you don't, but you like, I mean, there's stuff that you're going to recognize right away in his stuff. Um, he he does like voiceover and stuff with it. I mean, I think he raps to it as far as I know. But he's just he's really, I mean, he just came out with this at one album. The song I have on here is Your Deal. Just, here. I mean, you listen to all of these songs. If you think that you're a rap connoisseur, I don't think that there's any way you could listen to these songs and tell me that not at least all of them or at least one moves you in some way. I mean, these guys are, I'm not considering myself like a genius on rap music, but I am 45 years old and I've been listening to it since I was 14, 13. The first album I bought, I had to have my mom go in and pay for it because it had explicit lyrics on it, and it was Blockbuster Music. Wouldn't sell it to me, and I'll tell you guys one day what that album was, and I still to this day listen to it. Okay, the next group, and this is the last one, because we got through everything, um, and this is a group called Ascension's Plea. This song is called "I'm Glad," and it's like a guy and a girl singing to each other. And there's so much love that I hear between these two on this song. And he talks about how her pet name for him is like dinosaur or pterodactyl. And he says pet names are funny. Um, I just This song really, it does something to like me. I don't know why. It just it makes me smile and be glad about every relationship. Or it reminds me of like everyone in a way that I've been with, and everyone, and all the things that, for why I'm not with any one of them now. Right? I mean, the things that I'm still looking for in somebody. Um, it just it's amazing how these songs that I picked, like all of them have a way of catching your heart or your mind or soul or something in some way. While it's like they are talking about an experience that they had. But that's why I love rap music. Is, I mean, it's so relatable, in my opinion. I mean, I can relate to almost all of these feelings of loneliness and betrayal and people getting over on you, people taking your kindness for weakness, people keeping you down when you're trying to come up. The people that are supposed to be closest to you never supporting you. Just, I don't think it matters if you grow up rich or poor or anything like that. I think a lot of that stuff has nothing to do with the way that people make you feel, or the way that you feel as a kid and stuff when you're growing up and you're trying to figure out who you are. And I mean, when somebody, a family member, a sibling, doesn't like you and makes things difficult for you, it doesn't matter if you have money or not. It's the feeling that you have. And no matter how much money you had, you couldn't pay that person to change. They have that opinion of you and they're trying to make your life difficult, and probably do until, you're an adult. And that's just an example. But, I mean, it's all kinds of things. It's like, for me, it's like when I go see my family or whatever, it's like nobody's ever happy for any of my successes. It's like they're never happy unless I'm struggling and dying, like literally just can't get out of a hole or something. It's the only time that they stop by or anything. It's, no one's ever there when you're doing great. It's like everybody scatters a bunch of cockroaches, and it's like there's a saying that people are like lobsters. They give you their hand to pull you up, and then they bite your head off and use your shoulders to pull themselves up. And there's a crazy movie called In the Kitchen, because I guess that's what they call it when you lobster fish or whatever it's called, lobstering. Yeah, so, and that's why they put the little rubber bands on them, because they'll kill each other. But it's a really crazy movie. It was made a long time ago. Marissa Tomei is actually in it. And it's a wild movie if you ever have a chance to see it. I think it's called In the Kitchen. Anyway, so that is, I'm going to wrap this up. I wanted to say one thing. So I have a vintage store on my website, Uncool Designs, and I'm putting in a bunch of stuff. It's all couture. I mean, so I guess I wouldn't consider Dooney and Burke or Coach couture, but I do. And everything that's maybe one of those brands has been upscaled. Even I have an Hermes bag. It's a canvas bag. But I have men's stuff too. And something that I'm going to have in there by the time you see this is a pair of, I'm going to be having a lot of kicks that have been worn by me. I wear a size 10 and a half men's. I'm almost 6 feet tall, so, or 5'11 and a half, 3/4. So be looking out. If you guys love kicks, and they're mostly Nikes. So the problem is since my surgery, a lot of my shoes are fitting really strange now, and they don't feel right. And I'm not going to be wearing uncomfortable shoes anymore. I'm just not. All of the vintage wears and everything, they were picked out by me. Most of them I picked out to wear for myself. But I have so many, for instance, men's blazers and stuff, and these are all Christian Dior, Oscar de la Renta. I have a Missoni that I actually put these really cool patches on. Everything has been hand sewn by me or hand painted. It's been upscaled by yours truly. So if you guys get this stuff, it's one of a kind. You'll never see it on anybody, except obviously the shoes. And everything goes out the very next day. I have somebody through PayPal or whatever comes in. It's the UPS, but they come and pick up the packages and get them out by 2 p.m. So I don't want you, if you guys have any questions or anything, please reach out to me if you're interested in anything. Check it out. I have new stuff every day because I have stuff that a ton of stuff that I have to put on there. But now I have people who are saying, do you want to, I have this or that, or do you want to buy it for me and whatever. And so I'm acquiring more stuff, I really want to see how it goes for a little bit. I didn't do like a big launch or anything like that because really I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to do with it except offer it to my fans. I want to mention one other thing. So I've been at one point I was going to do this thing called virtual girlfriend, where I was going to do like an offering, one person at a time could get on a waiting list and they could have a virtual girlfriend experience with me. Um, and I just, I, the terms and stuff like that were, I started getting a little concerned about what exactly I'm supposed to do. Like, say, if I'm on a conversation with somebody on like a Google Meet or something, and something were to happen to them, like an emergency, life emergency situation, or to me, how are we supposed to handle things like that? And it got kind of sticky with my legal team or whatever. So I just kind of abandoned it for the time being because these terms of service and everything are really important. So what I'm doing instead is I was able to get something that works with my schedule because I want everything to be really on time and just delivered exactly as promised. Um, and that was going to be a little complicated, I think, just with my schedules and everything. So I do have a membership that is it's going to be a little bit more adult, over 18 type membership, um, that I will have a link for. And it's just a monthly thing. But like the holidays are coming up and there's going to be extra stuff that you're going to get. Um, I mean, it's mostly what you get is you get 2 videos a month. You get a magazine, virtual magazine that I've created with short articles and pics. And you're guaranteed up to 20 pictures and 2 10-minute videos a month. You also get one free session, 10-minute session with me, um, via Google Meet. And then you also get, if you want to do any other sessions that are $3 a minute, you get them for $2.85 a minute. And the pricing will be with the link. And so for the holidays coming up, I'm going to have even more, like in the virtual magazine, I'm going to have stuff that's like, it's going to incorporate a lot more of like the men's stuff that I have on my links that you guys see, like with Shopstyle Collective. So, I've been dressing men for many years, getting paid for it, and um, I don't. I guess I really didn't ever see that as a transitioning into this like um, online content world, except for my style picks. But I so many people comment on what I wear and just they love my fashion and all of that stuff. And if you guys have had a chance to take a look at any of the recommendations and stuff that I make, it's something that I really love to do. So during the holidays, I'm going to have extra picks, and I'm going to be able to give you guys all of the latest like sales and all of that stuff because they let us as affiliates know beforehand. And so that's something I'm going to pass to you guys just as kind of like, and I haven't decided yet, but I might be offering, and maybe I could get your guys' opinion, something like a men's gift box for November and December that would get shipped to you that would have things that I picked from it, for something nominal. I mean, maybe $100 or something like that. And it would have all things that are handpicked by me. I mean, if you wanted something much nicer than that, of course I could do that. But I'm trying to make this, and again, I'm not sure how that's going to work because I know a lot of people that subscribe to me here are not in the US. And I have no problem shipping to other countries. I guess I need to know exactly what I'm putting in it to make sure that it would get safely to you guys. But I was thinking like Aveda um, products, which of course you guys can get there, but this would be stuff that I actually go and purchase or order and have it brought to me, and I make the boxes for you. It's just really personal, and I think, especially during the holidays, I know it's a really difficult time for me because my brother took his life in 2017 in August, and his birthday is December 31st. And I just can't wait for the holidays to be over. Um, it's a difficult time for me, but I absolutely love to give gifts to people. It makes my heart so happy. So that's something that I'm working on. I would love to get your guys' input on that and let me know if that's something you would like. You could maybe even do that without, subscribing to the monthly thing. But I think um, that the whole thing is going to be something where you're going to feel, I want it to feel like every time, you open something from me in your email or whatever, that you feel like you're getting a hug from me. That's what I want it to feel like. So I'm putting a lot of intention and a lot of effort into this month membership and everything. And I would want the monthly thing to be the same. So let me know if that's something you guys are even interested in. Again, my store, vintage store, is Paul's Boutique, because I think that's so fitting for vintage wares. And be on the lookout for all kinds of it's got name brand stuff in it now, but even more shoes to come. Um, I'm taking pics of like everything and inventorying all of it. The thing is, I have it multiple places. I have it there, and I also have it on Fourth Wall, which I wanted to mention really quick. You can link to my uncledesigns.shop, where I will also be putting some of that stuff in. But that is a place really where you can get all of my latest graphics designs. Everything on there, the shirts that I make and stuff, those are all hand designed. In Adobe or Canva or whatever. But those are all designs that I've come up with and designed for t-shirts because, I love a dope t-shirt. There's nothing like a sweatshirt or a t-shirt that has something just hilarious or cool or whatever on it. It makes my day, and I love wearing them. And I'm going to be ordering some so I can start wearing them on here so you guys can see them. Every time I get on, I feel like I should be wearing something from my store. So that's the way it's going to be. So I really appreciate this time I got to spend talking to you guys about the music that I love so much. And I hope you have a chance to listen to this. I will have the links below. And I will talk to you guys very soon.